In the unfolding global rivalry, often dubbed the New Cold War of the 21st century, a subtle but decisive shift is underway. Once convinced the United States held all the leverage, analysts now see momentum quietly shifting toward China. The most striking sign, Saudi Arabia, America's long-standing ally, has signaled it might start selling oil not just for dollars, but also for Chinese yuan. This move could unravel a system deeply rooted since the 1970s, when the petrodollar emerged as the foundation of U.S. economic and geopolitical power. It tied global demand to the dollar, giving the U.S. unprecedented influence in international finance. If oil starts being priced in yuan, it undermines that structure. Even modest shifts in pricing could ripple through global markets, eroding the dollar's dominance and slowly empowering China. Behind the headlines, Saudi-China ties are deepening far beyond oil. Talks, investments, and joint ventures, from green technology to infrastructure, are reshaping Riyadh's economic partner profile. China is now the leading source of greenfield FDI in Saudi Arabia, pouring billions into clean tech and aligning with the kingdom's Vision 2030. Despite the enthusiasm, building a petroyuan-based system isn't easy. The yuan remains limited in global trade and finance, and oil exporters would need practical outlets to use yuan proceeds effectively. This limits the appeal, and progress remains slow. That said, groundwork is being laid. In 2018, China launched yuan-denominated crude futures, signaling long-term ambition. And in late 2022, during President Xi Jinping's historic Riyadh visit, the status of bilateral ties was elevated to a comprehensive strategic partnership, with oil trade in yuan openly encouraged. In response, U.S. officials have warned of possible repercussions like tariffs or arms restrictions if allies drift from the dollar. But America's influence may be waning. Saudi Arabia's economic power and strategic independence give it the ability to push back or diversify. Meanwhile, global de-dollarization is gaining traction. Countries are exploring alternatives, trade settled in local currencies, central banks diversifying reserves, and energy deals increasingly moving beyond dollars. Here is the broader picture. The petrodollar hasn't collapsed, but it's fraying. The dollar still dominates global reserves, thanks to deep markets and institutional trust. Yet, every time the United States tightens the screws with sanctions or aggressive foreign policy, it inadvertently nudges partners toward alternatives. In that light, the rise of the petroyuan seems less like a conspiracy and more like strategic adaptation. We may be witnessing a historic turning point. For nearly half a century, oil has been priced almost exclusively in dollars, a system that granted America unmatched global influence. Now, as China builds new economic corridors and introduces the petroyuan, the balance of power could shift. If just a slice of global oil trade moves to yuan settlements, the impact will be profound. Dollar demand would falter, reserve portfolios would diversify, and financial systems would evolve. The petrodollar's strength would fade, not overnight, but inevitably. History may soon rewrite itself. What was once the black gold of civilization, the petrodollar could give way to a new standard, the petroyuan, and with it, a redefined global economic order.